Good morning, Unity Church of Overland Park. I'm Reverend Jackie Fernandez. I'm your senior minister, and it is my great joy to be with you this morning. I'm joined on screen by our associate minister, Reverend Carrie King, and our music director, the legend himself, Fred Albers. Good morning.
Good morning.
We are still missing our ASL interpreter, Terry Sturgeon, but we're trusting that we will be able to get her on screen as we are committed to providing access and we are committed to language justice. And so this is one of our values that we provide that. So meanwhile, please join us on YouTube if you aren't there and access the closed caption until then.
Jackie,
Yes.
Terry's trying to call me, and so I will.
All right.
See what we can do.
All right. We'll see you in a bit, Fred. Thank you. All right. He's going to take care of it. Good morning, Reverend Carrie. Are you ready for Super Bowl Sunday? I mean, we're a week away, but it's time to get ready.
Yeah, I am ready. I'm excited.
Go Chiefs. We're so proud of our boys in red and all of the commitment, dedication that the team makes to achieve such great victory. And we're going to be talking about that next week. And Super Bowl Sunday, Game On will be our theme. And today, One with the One. We are in week 3 of our New Thought for a New Year series, in which we will be talking about what it means when we say we are one with the one, what it means when we say that we are one with the divine, one with each other. What is this concept of oneness and how dangerous is it? How's that for a teaser, right? If you weren't interested in staying for the whole service now, you got to be now, right? We also have the fabulous, the icon, Karen Drucker providing music for us today. And she's going to ask you to sing along. So you be ready to get your dancing shoes on and your singing voices warmed up. And we'll hear from her in just a few moments. And Unity, we always want to remind you and remind ourselves that we behold the Christ in each and every one. Each and every one is a sacred, holy being. When we look upon the face of another, we see the face of God, and there is nowhere that God is not. So let's affirm together one of our foundational affirmations in unity. There is only one presence and one power active in my life and in the universe, God, the source of all good. Reverend Carrie, will you lead us in stating our vision statement?
Yes.
And claiming it.
Delightful vision statement. Let's just take it in fully and completely as we affirm a world powerfully transformed through the growing movement of shared spiritual awakening.
Here I am.
Those words.
Well, that's designed for when there are 3 people on the screen. And so usually I'm not behind there, but I kind of noticed that. So peeking. But it's so true. And we have such great news with our future space today that we'll be sharing. Another teaser, so you're going to want to stick around to hear more about that. But for now, let's affirm together our future space affirmation as we embody and empower the words that the team has come up with in this affirmation. All together, we are grateful for our new spiritual home that empowers us to fulfill our mission. Eyes wide open. Oh my goodness, it is my great joy to welcome for the reading of the daily word, our congregant, our community member, the extraordinary Lou Ann Bruce. We are so delighted to be able to say that she states that UCOP has completely changed her outlook on life, and she wouldn't be the person that she is now without it. And we're so delighted to say that because that is our mission statement, is that we empower people to live their lives. We empower people to live their lives fully. Luann has been part of UCOP for 20 years, over 20 years. She's been actively involved in volunteering, and she helped with the move in 2018. She's helped out in the business office and is a member of the name tag team, and she's currently a member of the welcoming team. Oh, and she's got the energy for that. She has been part of our outreach efforts, serving breakfast at St. Paul, serving dinner to the women at Shelter KC, and volunteering at Johnson County Christmas Bureau. She also participates in our fall faith and other small groups. So please welcome. And if you're at home, go ahead. I invite you to put your hands together and clap, right? Welcome to the stage, the virtual stage, Ms. Luann.
Now, I find my power in this very moment. There is power in this very moment. Yesterday is past. and tomorrow is not yet here. There is only this moment, ripe with promise and potential, ready for me to live into it fully. Through my many divine gifts, everything I need to get started within me is within me. I need not wait for the perfect moment to arrive, because there is no time more perfect than now, and no place more perfect than here. Procrastination has no place in my life. I fritter away energy when I find reasons not to get started, losing my zeal and focus and inviting frustration into my life. Today I claim the power of the presence and say, this is the day I begin. Now is the time to begin to serve, to forgive, to create, to love. See, now is the acceptable time. See, now is the day of salvation. 2 Corinthians 6:2.
Thank you, Luann. Oh. So let's just take a moment and sink even deeper into that now moment, that point of creation. As we open our hearts to that Spirit, that God, the Christ within each one of us and every single person. Yes. So we are open here and now to receive divine inspiration, to be empowered by the words that are spoken, by the songs that are sung, by the fellowship that, though unseen, is absolutely present. And I trust that as each one of you relaxes into that space of oneness, that you will feel that connection. We are so grateful today for Karen Drucker and for all those who are serving as our team to present the service, and all of you who are coming together today to participate with us, to bring up that light brighter and shinier than we've seen it before. We are so blessed to be able to do that, and we release our gratitude and open to receive the gifts that are ours by right of being an extension of God in the world. We release this prayer into mind and say amen and thank you, God. And now, please stand by. In this now moment, we will be hearing Karen Drucker singing God Is.
Good morning, Unity Church of Overland Park. It's Karen Drucker coming to you here from San Francisco. Hey, Reverend Jackie. So I have a few songs I want you to sing along with me today. So this is my magic wand that says that you can sing, okay? So this is a sweet little song. It's a call and response. I want you to sing along with me. It goes like this. God is life and I am life. You sing, God is life and I am life. God is light and I am light. God is light and I am light. God is joy and I am joy. God is joy and I am joy. God is love and I am love. God is love and I am love. God is peace and I am peace. God is peace and I am peace. God is beauty and I am beauty. God
And so it is. Oh, thank you, dear Reverend, not Reverend, but Karen Drucker, the icon herself. Seems like she's probably put in enough time at churches around the country. She should be a reverend. Oh my goodness, God is. I am light. God is. It just feels so good to sink into those words, to really embrace and embody those words. Now is the time in the service when we honor and give thanks for our practice of abundance, our practice of prosperity as we provide love offerings and tithes to our ministry. But first, hold up, Mike. I want to first talk about two very exciting things that are happening in our community. One is that we are launching spirit groups once again. It has been a time since we've had them, but we are ready to rock and roll with those. So big shout out and big thanks to all of those who have agreed to lead our spirit groups, our faithful leaders, and to Deb Philby for getting the website ready to have an online registration. So you can go on to ucop.org and you can choose the group that you want to join. You enter your name and your email address, and then your group leader will know to contact you and let you know when the groups will begin, what day and time that you'll be meeting. Now, I do want to tell you that some groups will actually be following the Lenten series that we'll be doing. So we will kick off spirit groups with our Ash Wednesday service, which everybody is invited to, even if you aren't participating in spirit groups. Yes, we will be having an Ash Wednesday service, which is February 17th, to kick off the Lenten series. Now, our Lenten series on Sundays will be Atheism for Lent. Whoa, what? Maybe some of you have heard of this. It's not new. It's about probably 10 years old. Theologian and philosopher Peter Rollins started this work, and many Unity ministers have practiced it either alone or with their ministries. And I will love to take us through it in large part because it's a beautiful follow-up to the series that we're doing now. So now we are in New Thought for a New Year, in which we are going through our foundational Unity and New Thought teachings. And then Atheism for Lent will take us deeper into what we believe. So the idea of giving something up for Lent is that we give up our belief in God for Lent, which sounds so counterintuitive and juicy, and I can't wait for us to embark on this adventure. So there are some spirit groups who will be following the Sunday Lenten series and will be going deeper, and there are others that will be doing the things that they normally do. There's a Buddhism podcast, there is a book study, so you'll be able to find the group that works for you. And you are, of course, going to experience the Atheism for Lent on Sundays, even if your small group isn't. So please take a minute this week, go to ucop.org and register for a spirit group. All right, the other piece of news, I kind of low-key dropped it, a hint anyway, last week, and somebody called me out in coffee time on it, and we're moving forward in this direction, but I do want to preface everything I'm going to say that this is in the works. This is still an exploration, and what we are doing is we are exploring and looking at moving into a temporary space until we find our permanent spiritual home. So the Future Space team is still fast at work. They're still dedicated. They're still on board with this. And we started the discussion in that group. So, and for the first time, I understand, since that group has been working together, there was a unanimous vote. And the unanimous vote was to pursue this plan. So you see on your screen the picture of PlexPod in Lenexa. If you're not familiar with PlexPod, it is a series of buildings around the city that is a co-working space. So the idea for co-working is that there are many businesses, a one-person business or a small business. There are banks, realtors, video editing companies who have a subscriptions, you might say, or a membership to a PlexPod, and they're able to utilize the space for office space. So what you see now on your screen is a conference room. So we will join into this community, this sort of co-op, if you will, and we will have our own dedicated office space. Go ahead and put that picture back on the screen, Mike. We will have meeting rooms. So what you saw there was one of the board meeting rooms or conference room. They are all have the latest and greatest in technology, Google Fiber, everything that we need to be fully operational. There are other smaller meeting rooms that are small enough for kind of like a one-on-one space. There it is. So there's a beautiful round table. And hey, hi, Terry. Thank you for joining us this morning. So glad we got that worked out. the idea is that we will have one space in which we can fully function as a ministry. So we could have our classes in that space. We could have our board meetings in that space. And then again, there are other smaller spaces for spiritual counseling or for prayer or for smaller group meetings as well. And we will have an office space. And then go ahead and bring up that next picture, Mike. We will have an event space all at one location, which is 10,000 Marshall Drive. So it's just about, I think, 8 minutes west of the Antioch building, and it's just a minute south of Costco. So there's the event space. And right now the chairs are all together, but the chairs can be moved in such a way, in any way, but they can also be moved in such a way that we can create social distancing, which means that in this space, we'll be able to identify a date in which we will begin to return, and we can do it sort of, phase it in and do it safely and wisely. We will be able to have spaces just outside of that door. You can see the door kind of in the hallway lit up for hospitality after service, also for our children's ministry, for UCOP kids, and for the YOU. There are rooms for them to meet in. There's a ramp, so it's easy access from the parking lot. And of course, you can see all of the lighting, and there's a sound system that is built in. So it will be able to facilitate whatever kind of music we have, and of course, whatever kind of service we have. So this is what we are looking at as a temporary solution. In the meanwhile, how can we thrive? How can we come together and bring all of our church business and practices and services, everything that we do, the work of our ministry under one roof, and thrive in the meanwhile, while the Future Space team continues to do the work of locating our permanent spiritual home. So you will hear more about this, and you will get a chance to drive through the parking lot of PlexPod next week on Super Bowl Sunday, as we will be having, after service, we will be having a tailgate pregame party. And so what this means is this drive-through. So it's more of like a parade in which you are invited to type into your GPS 10,000 Marshall Drive, Lenexa, Kansas, and after service from 11:30 to 12:30, drive through the parking lot so you can clock how long it takes to get there from your house, get familiar with where the location is in the parking lot, and the staff and I will be there to give to you your Lenten booklet, your 2021 Lenten booklet, and maybe a small treat. So we will begin cheering on the Chiefs, and also cheering on and being in that thriving energy of our new temporary spiritual location and spiritual home. So the board is continuing to work on this and work through the details of this. So please just let's put a myrtle on it, as my friend Reverend Ann Tabor would say, in which we put a blessing on it. We know that all is held in divine order, and we know that we can only make the right choices as long as we are doing so in alignment with guidance of Spirit. And that has been the foundation of every step that we have made. So I invite you to join in now. Join into this thriving energy. Join into the sense of gratitude that we are creative beings. We are wise and creative and discerning beings who are able to take the next and best right step for Unity Church of Overland Park together. We give thanks for the many ways each of you contribute to the thriving and prosperity of our community through your tithes, your time, your talent, your treasure. And you see up on the screen, you're able to send your checks in, or you can contribute online at ucop.org/giving. We make it very easy for you to support our ministry in this way and to support the vision and mission that you wish to see in the world. So let's warm our hands up. Feel the thriving, prosperous energy within. Gratitude for all that is given to us as we say our love offering blessing together. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And I am joy-filled and so very grateful. And so it is. Amen. And so we welcome back to the screen the icon, the legend herself, Karen Drucker with I Got God.
All right, I got a fun one for you now. I got God to lift me up when I'm lonely. I got God to show me the way. Yeah, I got God always there to remind me I can surrender, let go, and know that I got God. Every time I feel separation and I'm feeling so all alone, I call out to Spirit, and that sweet voice of love leads me back home. I got God to lift me up when I'm lonely. I got God to show me the way. Yeah. I got God always there to remind me I can surrender, let go, and know, I got God. Yeah, every day I got God. When I'm afraid or feel insecure, I need to stop and look deep inside and connect to that power that even when I resist it, it can't be denied. I got God to lift me up when I'm lonely. I got God to show me the way. Yeah, all the time. I got God always there to remind me I can't surrender, let go, and know I got God. Now, God's fun, you know. Has an attitude sometimes. Okay, put on your seatbelts, because we're going to do church now.
I got God, yeah.
I got God. Every morning, I got God. All through the night, I got God. When I'm troubled or feeling all right, if I have a problem, I know who to call. Operator, direct me to the one and all. I'm talking about Spirit. I'm talking about Allah. Give me a little bit of Buddha. Yeah, divine goddess. Yeah, it's the presence, the power, the light within. It's Yahweh and it's all God. It's all God. It's all God. It's all God. I said the air, the trees, the birds, the bees, the light that shines through you and me. It's all God. It's all God. It's all God. I said now everything I do, every breath I take, every move I make, everything I make, it's all God. It's all God. It's all God. I said the air, the trees, the birds, the bees, the light that shines from you and me, it's all God. It's all God. Everything I do, everything I say, it's all God, 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 it's all God, 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 I got God, 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 I got God. Every day, I got God.
Oh, yeah. Every day I got God. It's all God. It's all good. Thank you, Karen Drucker, for lighting up the stage, the virtual stage with that song and that energy. Do you feel it? Do you feel that love and that energy and enthusiasm for the truth that you got God, for the truth that God is all that is, God is all that is, and God is good. Week 3 of our series, New Thought for a New Year, One with the One. So we started talking about what it means to sort of step into the idea that we can have a malpractice to our spirituality. We talked about toxic positivity and what it means when we say that we are a positive path for spiritual living, that we are affirmative, not that we are always happy, that we are always forcing into our minds positive thinking and positive thoughts, that's actually a misuse of the teachings, that we are invited in these teachings to dig deeper and to embrace that what is true and affirming. For example, God is good. God is not some, old man in the sky with a long beard waiting to judge you, waiting to damn you to hell. No. God is good, the one power, one presence in the universe. And that presence is benevolence. And then last week we talked about healing, which is one of our foundational premises for all of New Thought, but especially for Unity. The Unity movement was born at the kitchen table of Myrtle Fillmore after she embraced her own healing experience with the affirmation, I am a child of God, therefore I do not inherit sickness. People noticed that she healed from tuberculosis, and they wanted to know how, and how could they do it for themselves. And thus was born the Unity movement. Of course, it wasn't called Unity at that time. And so we're going to get into a little bit of that today. And I also want to give us a little bit of information about the difference between Unity and New Thought, or what we mean when we say Unity is a New Thought movement. So we are under the New Thought umbrella. And so if you're new to Unity, you might not be sure, and perhaps even if you've been around for a long time, you're not really sure what this New Thought business is. When said in a complete sentence, it's often said ancient wisdom, new thought. So it's not that we are saying that anything that we are teaching is new. It is actually rooted in ancient wisdom. Charles Fillmore, who is our other co-founder, he saw what his wife Myrtle did, and he set forth to repeat that. If she can do it, I can do it, but I must be able to do it with science. I must be able to scientifically prove that this is possible. And of course, he did to the degree that he could at the time. They were both way ahead of their time. And as we talked about last week, science is catching up to what they were saying. I feel like in many ways, I'm trying to catch up to Myrtle Fillmore and her intuition. And science now supports that process, but there's still such a deep mystery about this work with spirit. And we'll talk about that today, the deep mystery. So we have clarity around some of our theology and what has grown out of the Unity movement and the New Thought movement. So the founders of the New Thought movement, or we could say the other churches or denominations, although most of them won't use that word, who are under the organizations, we'll say that are under the New Thought umbrella, include Centers for Spiritual Living, which you may be, if you've been around for a long time, you probably know them more as Science of Mind or religious science. There's also Divine Science. There is also Agape International, which is under the leadership of Michael Bernard Beckwith. Michael Beckwith came out of the Centers for Spiritual Living movement. There's also TFAM, the Fellowship of Affirming Ministries. Of course, Unity is under that umbrella. And I would say that what we all have in common is that all of these organizations, all of these spiritual practice are in alignment that our thoughts create our reality, that our thoughts have power. And that is because what we're talking about today, that we are divine in nature. So God is all power, all presence, all life, all wisdom, all substance, expressing in, through, and as us. Therefore, we have, as our Unity principles say, the spark of the divine within us. Therefore, we have all power, all presence, all mind, all life, all love, all substance available to us in which we express ourselves. So we are in alignment in that way. And of course, as people do, everyone sort of branches off into their own iterations and practices. And Unity is, along with Divine Science or Divine Mind, are more Bible-based, have more cultural Christianity at its roots than some of the other movements. And we are all different from Christian Science however, we were influenced by Christian Science, but Christian Science is different in that they don't encourage people to receive medical care. And that is not the case. So even as healing is one of our foundational teachings, we also say, let God be in the medicine. So Myrtle was known for praying for the medical team. So it's not that we just go to doctors, but we also let our spiritual practice be part of that process, that we pray up the wisdom that is present in each of our care providers. and we call that forth. So however God may show up, we allow that to be present for us. So we are part of the New Thought movement, which is why I'm calling this series New Thought for a New Year, to remind ourselves that we are more than just unity. New Thought is recognized by the Parliament of World Religions as an official denomination. I believe that happened about 10 years ago. And so as such, we now have a group of us that go, a large cohort, and we get to have sort of our own large room in which people can come in and learn about us at the Parliament of the World's Religions. And I was able to participate in 2018, which was very profound, to be at a conference with 10,000 spiritual leaders from around the world, and to have such a large presence of unity and of New Thought leaders, and to really feel ourselves as part of that movement that is the search for truth. You know, Charles Fillmore and Myrtle Fillmore began to form study groups. And it was not their intent to start a church or a denomination. In fact, they were very clear that they wanted people to come from any faith tradition, not just Christianity, and learn the unity teachings and then take the teachings back to their own churches or synagogues or temples, wherever they were worshiping. And Myrtle herself was a Methodist her entire life. And, you know, as things evolved, there then became a movement to people who wanted to do this on Sunday morning. They didn't want to go back to their other church. They wanted to embrace the unity teachings in such a way that we had our own church environment with that. But it's always important to remember kind of how it started, how it got its beginnings, because it informs how we conduct ourselves today. So we are open to honoring all paths that lead to love, that support the ideas of love, justice, equality, that affirm the presence of the divine in each and every one. We don't specifically define what God is. We don't demand that anybody have a specific idea of what God is or who God is. We invite people to consider the impact that their belief has on their lives. So our first principle in unity is there is one power, one presence in the universe, and that presence is good, God the good. The second principle is that we have the spark of the divine within us. Therefore, we are inherently good. We can distill those two principles down to God is, I am. God is, I am. So we lean more deeply into the question, God is, I am. What is God? And as we lean into that question, what is God? Who is it that I pray to? Then we are returned to the question, well, who am I? Who am I that is praying? And it becomes a sort of cyclical loop that we engage in, and it can sometimes feel overwhelming, like God is so big. You know, philosophers will say, as soon as we say God, as soon as we say the word God, we have said less than God. As soon as we say God, speak God, we have said less than God. We've already reduced God into a word, which then reduces God into an idea. Charles Fillmore said that, what did he say? He said that God is individually born in the consciousness of each person. God is individually born, manifested, ideated through the consciousness of each person. So one might ask the question then, well, how many gods are there? There are as many gods as there are people then, if God is born and manifested in the consciousness of each person. And the next step after that for me is to open my mind a little bit to perhaps I don't know everything there is to know about God, to perhaps my God thoughts are not big enough, because perhaps I look over at someone else and I see their God thoughts and I see how they engage with their faith practice, and I think their God must be bigger than mine. It just feels that way to me. So what am I missing? Or we might look at another person and say, whoa, that's not God at all. Their idea of God, not God. Well, we can't really prove it either way, right? As Paul Hasselbeck says, we're all just making it up anyway. So why wouldn't we make up a good, benevolent God? And yet, unity teachings invite us to come into the deepest awareness of truth, to always live in a state of expansion, of increasing our awareness, of lifting our mind into God thoughts, into our highest self. Charles Fillmore was delivered through spirit. He says, straight out of the ethers, through meditation, the name unity. And he was very clear, both he and Myrtle were very clear that unity teachings pull from the wisdom of all faith traditions, all religions, pull the truth that is common in each and apply it to Christianity, apply it to faith, apply it to prayer, and then work back into whatever faith practice you have. Unity. Unity with God, one with the one. Such a clever name, isn't it? Because it's unity between us as people, it's unity within us with God, and it's unity all around us as a collective. Such a powerful name. And yet I'm even thinking, so in the same way that as soon as we say God, we say less than God, as soon as we say with, one with, we have expressed a separation. With is a joining word. So if I am one with God, there is me and there is God. I am one with. So let's take this a little deeper. Jesus, our way shower, our master teacher, said, I and the Father are one. I and the Father are one. No separating words there. Just oneness, just unity. Unity as I and the Father are one. Take that into your being a little bit. Sort of tug, pick away at your grand assumptions about God. We all have room to expand. God is so great that even the word God has already reduced God. In our Atheism for Lent practice, we'll get into the question if God as creator, God created all that is, then who created God, right? That sort of classic philosophy question, but not for today. Just put that over in the parking lot. We'll come back to that. But it's the idea of getting clarity around what we mean when we say in our own being, I and the Father are one. I am one with spirit, whatever words you choose. Some people don't like to use the word Father. So whatever, God and I are one. I am one with the divine. But to notice when we start using language, how do we start reducing the idea? How do we begin to reduce even ourselves? It can feel very, especially if you're new to this concept. Chapter 2 of Ellen Davenport's Unity's 5 Principles is called You Are God. Wow. The first time I saw that, I was like, whoa, no, no, not me. I'll straight go to hell for that. I'm not going to say that. That's where I was at the time. I was very convinced of my unworthiness. I was very convinced that there was a separate evil power in the world. And it was through unity teachings and truth that resonated in those teachings that I was able to shed that belief and to understand that if there is one power and one presence in the universe, God the good, there could be no adversary. So in the same way that gravity is not responsible for your fall, God is not responsible, or Satan, as some might say, is not responsible for the bad things that happen. There's just principle. And the ruling principle in the universe is love. The ruling principle in the universe is God, is benevolence. So it's not to deny that there is anything that we would call evil. There's not to deny that there aren't terrible, terrible actions taken in this world by people. But it is to know the truth that if God is present in you and I, God is present in everyone, every single one. And then that leads us to lots of questions. So there's an example. If you were to tie a rubber band tightly around your finger. You know, it would turn red and then it would turn purple and we'd be cutting off the blood supply. So this is sort of an analogy of what it's like when we cut off the supply of our own divinity, the supply of our own godness. We have the ability to do that because we are God expressing in the world, and we have our own little m mind. We also have within us capital M mind, divine mind, but we also have our ego mind. And our ego mind is focused on survival. Our ego mind is focused on separation for survival. So our work becomes to keep our ego mind in check and to focus on the greater truth that is within us, and to also see that truth in each other. And some people make it very difficult. Some people make it very difficult. But if we can hold that truth for each other, we bring it out. We bring it out in the world. Again, and I always say this, that doesn't mean we don't have healthy boundaries. That doesn't mean we continue to put up with that which is less than light. Those who choose to hide their own light within, who choose, there's that saying, everyone's just doing the best they can. And I don't know that I agree with that. A dear friend of mine, a Unity minister, said, well, they wouldn't do it in hiding if they were doing their best. As an example, child abusers wouldn't do it in hiding if they were doing their best. Thieves wouldn't do it in the cover of night if they knew they were doing their best. It would just be done out in the open. So there is sort of an awareness and a consciousness around the choices we make. And at the deeper levels, if we knew the truth, if we knew our own divinity, we would make better choices naturally. We would want to be in the flow of that because we are made and created for the presence of life and love. We are drawn to that which is life-giving. Some people, unfortunately, through events in their lives, don't believe that it's possible for them to be part of that which is life-giving. And so they make different choices, or they get caught in this egoic repetition of repeating bad behavior, as you might say, or behaviors that bring forward more harm and pain in their lives rather than love and light. And so if we recognize the truth of this in our own being, then it also opens us up to compassion. So that when I look at someone else who maybe has a different understanding of God, one that I don't align with, that I can look upon them with compassion because I'm aware and I know my own experiences of having made God smaller. I know my own experiences of not understanding, of not having the awareness that I seek. And in my opinion, it's always evolving. I today don't have the awareness that I seek. I have greater awareness than I once did, but I'm not finished. I'm not complete. And I don't think I ever will be. I hope that I'm not. I hope that I continue to seek the presence of God in a greater way. The Father and I are one. Charles Fillmore said in his book, Talks on Truth, it is your mission to express all that you can imagine God to be. Let this be your standard of achievement. Never lower it, nor allow yourself to be belittled by the cry of sacrilege. You can attain to everything that you can imagine. If you can imagine that it is possible to God, it is also possible to you. One with the one, possibility. Now I want to talk about mystery. Mystery. Eric Butterworth said, you can never be separate from God because you are the self-livingness of God. You are the self-livingness of God. And yet God, in part, remains hidden. It is just out of our understanding. It is just out of our comprehension. We can only catch glimpses of the divine. And I'm using this motion out, but it's from within out. Do you get that? It's from within out. Now, sometimes we need God to be great. We need God to be greater than us. And the God within us can sometimes not seem as comforting, cannot seem as big as we need God to be in the midst of our prayer, in the midst of our pain, of our grief, whatever it might be. And so we need to think of this God great in the universe, greater than us, in the sky, in the stars, in the earth, in the trees, in the forests, the earth beneath our feet. And that is also true. God is everywhere present at all times. There is no place where God is not. And we know that when we look around the world, there's more space than what we call matter or object. There is more space. And even as we dig into anything that we might call an object or something, matter, there is even at the quantum level more space in that than substance. And God is in all of it. That's so big. That's so big. This is why we have our prayer practice. Just take a breath and connect within. We take a breath and we connect within and we bring it home to the heart, that we may feel the presence of God within. I am one with the one. Therefore, if I am in unity, therefore I am. God is, I am. Most simply said, God is life, power, substance. Therefore, I am life, power, substance. So we lean into the mystery of that which we do not understand, of that which we do not comprehend, and we know that God is there, that it is safe for us to lean in, and that in our efforts to be the self-livingness of God, the expression of God, everything we can imagine God to be, everything we could imagine God to do, we are it, and we are capable of doing. Our spiritual practice becomes the discovery of how. So as we remember who and whose we are, this is why I say that, to remember who and whose we are, the beloved, the iteration of God made manifest in the world, and whose, therefore we belong to God, not to a God separate from us. Just in the same way my hand belongs to me, my hand is my hand. Ooh, wedding ring. Sorry, distracted. My hand belongs to me. You could cut it off. It is still my hand. It does not then become someone else's hand or an orphan hand. It belongs to me. It is my hand. It has my DNA in it. Very same way, we belong to the divine, to the one holy presence in the universe. We cannot cut ourselves off from it. We can make ourselves think we are disconnected. We can behave in a way that demonstrates disconnection. But we are never truly separate. So we're going to settle in now for a time of meditation on these big ideas, these big God ideas. And I'm going to invite Fred on the screen to play some music to help us center in. And so we center in with a breath. Breathing in, God is. And we exhale, I am. And again, God is. And we exhale, I am. Unity. There's one power and presence in the universe and active in my life, God, the source of all good. God, the source of me. Therefore, I am all good. We allow any thoughts that come to mind, any ego-based thoughts, any fear-based thoughts that might whisper, but not you, not really you. We're not yet. Maybe after you have accomplished this or finished that or got your prayer practice into shape. Maybe after you start meditation or read this book, take that class. Maybe then you. We just recognize that voice. We bless it. We thank it for the cue that it provides, the cue that shows us a place within where we are ripe for illumination, a place within and where we are ripe for awareness, God awareness. And so we allow more light, we allow more God into this space. We lay down the practice of inner violence in which we torment ourselves for our failings, for the ways we do not measure up to the world. We just lay it down at the altar of our own being. And as we receive our awareness of God, the presence of the divine within, we feel the presence of grace, compassion, unconditional love. And we allow it to wash over us, to wash over any thought of lack, any perception that our value is measured by the clothes we wear, the car we drive, the house we live in, the job we have or don't. We wash it over, the thought that would tell us any other accomplishment, whether we are married or not, whether we have children or not, whether we have traveled or not. Whatever whispering of the ego mind that would have us believe we are anything less than divine, we lay it down at the altar. We lay it down at the altar and we take it into silent reflection. So we give thanks for the opportunity to touch the stillness. We give thanks for this moment, this practice in which God will do its work within us, the work of revelation, that we are the divine expression of the one holy presence, unique and unrepeatable, God choosing its self-livingness in, through, and as us. We give thanks for the opportunity to explore this truth together, that we may remind one another and remind ourselves that it is our greatest work to everywhere we go, remind everyone we see of this truth within them, simply by our own presence, simply through acts of love and kindness, grace and compassion. Rinse, repeat. We are so grateful. Namaste. So we welcome back to the screen our beloved Karen Drucker singing a Jamie Lula song, God in Everyone.
So I'd like to do a song for you written by Gary Lynn Floyd and Jamie Lula. I invite you to go to YouTube and watch the whole video of this song. I'm going to just sing the chorus with you because I want you to just sing that along with me. It's a beautiful song. Everything beneath the sun breathes like a harmonium. Pure perfection has begun, shining like a midnight sun. Out of darkness I have come. I see God in everyone. Now here's your part. I'll teach you. God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh God, I feel you all around me. Oh, how you astound me with your grace. That's the whole chorus. Oh God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh God, I feel you all around me. Oh, how you astound me with your grace. God, let me know your name. Hold me in the same breath as your word. Oh God, I feel you all around me. Oh, how you astound me with your grace. Out of darkness I have come. I see God in everyone.
Oh, wow. Good morning, everybody. What a beautiful, powerful service. This music by Karen Drucker, all of the exciting things happening with our still in the progress move to the Plex Pod space, upcoming spirit groups. There's just so much happening, so much great energy going on here at Unity Church of Overland Park. So let me bring you just a few announcements for the day. As always, the kids can connect with Miss Clarissa. All of the details are on our UCOP Facebook page, and she'll be having a lesson for the kids. YOU, I think, is taking a break today, but you can still check out the Facebook page for Zoom links because they've been meeting. This is the kind of middle school through high school age group with Jim Crabtree and Patrick Andrews. So always check out information for how to connect with that age group. Also, we want to let you know, Jackie already mentioned this, but spirit groups are coming back, and they're going to be starting around the Lenten season. There are a wide variety of spirit groups to choose from, different leaders and facilitators and days and times of the day and different days of the week and that kind of thing. So please, if you are looking to be part of a loving virtual spirit group, then please do check out both the website and also the e-blast or the email news blast that comes out on Fridays. There will be links that you can sign up online. It couldn't be easier. Thank you so much to both Deb Philby and Reverend Jackie for your incredible support of this program. We would love to see everybody who's looking for connection and looking for digging a little bit deeper and connecting with those people that we don't get to see all that often. Please consider joining a spirit group. I do not think that you will be disappointed. It's a great time to connect. Also, we want you to know that Silent Unity has virtual prayer. It's a 24/7 vigil. So if you are in need of prayer support, please do go to unityprayervigil.org. And you can learn more about that by going to that website, unityprayervigil.org. I think everybody out there is probably already subscribed to our e-blast, our weekly email that you get. Please do, if you are not subscribed already, please consider doing so. If you even just want to occasionally know what's happening in Unity Church of Overland Park, go to our website. It's ucop.org. Scroll to the bottom, click on subscribe to the news blast, and you'll be getting that information actually twice a week, every Friday, but also a reminder on Sunday morning. So it's a fantastic way of being in the know. And it's a great place where you can learn about things like spirit groups or how to serve to Shelter KC. You can learn more about the Silent Unity Prayer Vigil. You can also learn about the upcoming series, The Womankind, that is the event next scheduled for February 10th, and that is facilitated by our very own Reverend Jackie Fernandez, and all kinds of other great information. So now, please stay with us as we close out our service with prayer, our mission, and a final song from Karen Drucker.
Thank you, Tiffany.
All right. Are y'all ready? Let's say our prayer for protection with trust, deep faith, and a new understanding. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is.
And because God is, all is truly, truly well. And so as we embrace with greater awareness our unity in spirit, our unity in community, we affirm our mission statement. Unity Church of Overland Park transforms lives and empowers people to make a difference in the world. All right, so please join us for coffee time after service. You'll see the Zoom link on the screen there. And of course, it's in your morning email if you have subscribed to our e-blast. And next week, Super Bowl Sunday, will be week 4 of our series, Game On. And we will be talking about how our thoughts create our reality. What does that mean? And what power does that provide for us in our lives to live our best life? We invite you all to wear your favorite Chiefs gear to service, and maybe if you want to eat some wings or anything like that. And then of course, plan to, as soon as service is over, we won't have coffee time afterwards. We'll all meet over at PlexPod between 11:30 and 12:30. The staff will be there. One of our prayer chaplains has volunteered to decorate her car in Chiefs, Chiefs decor, and we will be there to hand out our Lenten booklets so that you can drive through and learn where the space is as we transition into this great, wonderful move for our community. And so now we will close with a song by Karen Drucker, affirming the truth that God is my source. Namaste. Have a beautiful week.
Okay, it's time to rock out a little bit. Get up, move, dance. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. That's the whole thing. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Come on, sing with me now. God is my source. Yeah, God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. So I give thanks for all my blessings. For all my blessings. God gives me everything. All right, what about joy? Let's do some joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks. So I give thanks. Oh, my blessings. Joy gives me everything. Let's claim peace, shall we? Peace is my source. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything. All right, let's go for some love. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything, everything that I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Gives me everything. Let's go back to God now. God is my source. Yeah, God is my power. God gives me everything I ever need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Gives me everything. All right, put your hands together. Let's do this. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me. I hope you're dancing around your room. Come on now, move a little bit. So I give thanks. For all my blessings. Gives me everything. Oh, everything. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything, everything I need. So I give thanks. For all my blessings. Oh, my blessings. Gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my source. God is my power. God is my power. Gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything. Everything. Every day. Everything I need. Ever. So it is. Can't be denied. I got God to lift me up when I'm lonely. I got God to show me the way. All the time. I got God always there to remind me. I can't surrender, let go and no, I got God. Now, God's fun, you know. Has an attitude sometimes. Okay, put on your seatbelts because we're going to do church now.
I got God, yeah.
I got God.
Every morning,
I got God.
all through the night,
I got God.
when I'm troubled or feeling all right. If I have a problem, I know who to call. Operator, direct me to the one and yeah. 'Cause my God is, yeah. It's the presence, the power, the light within. It's Yahweh and it's all God. It's all God. I said the air, the trees, the birds, the bees, the light that shines from you and me. It's all God. It's all God. I said now everything I do, every breath I take, every move I make, everything I make, it's all God. It's all God. I said the air, the trees, the birds, the bees, the light that shines from you and me. It's all God. It's all God. Everything I do, everything I say, it's all God, God, God. It's all God, God, God. I got God, God, God. I got God. Every day, I got God.